What if I told you that a lot of famous artists are in fact right hemisphere dominant in their brain because the right temporal lobe is your artistic region of the brain because of their epilepsy? People such as Leonardo da Vinci, who painted the Mona Lisa and the roof of the Sistine Chapel, he in fact had epilepsy and he was right hemisphere dominant. When it comes to musicians, you're talking about great singers like Elton John, a man called Prince, and if you go to country music, you're talking about Neil Young. These are men who are right hemisphere dominant because of epilepsy. And they are similar to myself. They are 1% who have a right hemisphere dominant brain. So most people, or 99% of people, are left hemisphere dominant. And for many people, that's what makes it difficult for them to understand why their brain is different to someone with epilepsy. Hi, my name is Martin. I have an extreme form of epilepsy where I experience one seizure a week, and I'm here to share my story with you. What actually changed my ability to learn quite strongly was in fact music. It was something that was introduced from a very young age, where my father would sit me on his knee and play the guitar and sing to me. But when I started actually performing in musicals at school, at 14 years of age, a lady who was in the audience just came up to me afterwards and said, "I would like to train you." My parents at the time said, "We can't afford that." And she said, "No problem, I'll do it for free. He's got an incredible voice." And I was really surprised, but I was happy to do that. And every week I would have these singing lessons. And it slowly saw me singing in Italian, French, German, and English. And people just were so surprised by this. Every year, what would happen, she would send me to Sydney to go to the Australian Opera, to go to an opera camp over the summer period. And where I would go there and I would be learning with other people operatic music, and at the end we'd do a show. And it was so much fun for me, I just loved it. I would then come back to school and there would be difficulties at times with other subjects, but music would always be the thing that got me through. Even in year 12, I sang the opening song for the graduation, and then everybody's had the party after that. People were appreciating my voice, and I knew at that time I had to move to Sydney to become a singer because of the Australian Opera. I was actually starting firstly as an extra, which is just someone who stands at the back of this stage and does really nothing but stands there, or would be dressed up in a costume. I was waiting to start one show, and one of the people who was also an extra said to me, or to all of us, "Does anyone here really want to be an opera singer?" And I said yes. And he got me to sing for him. He then said, "I want to introduce you to somebody." And we went to the room next door, and it was actually a man who was the soloist for the show. He got me to sing for him also. And he said to me, "Who is training you?" And I said, "I don't have a trainer." He said, "I'll train you." And again, he decided to do it for free. When the opera finished, or that season, and he had to go back overseas, he got the head vocal coach to actually take over. I was getting free training with the Australian Opera every week, but that's when the convulsive seizures started. And I needed to try and hide them because I wanted to stay on stage. It was such an incredible thing to walk out there and just see 2,000 people in the auditorium. And by the time we got to the show being on stage, I'd learnt the music myself, and a lot of the time I was singing too. And no one really noticed because my voice was fitting in very well. And it was all just such a big excitement for me to do that. But I then had a seizure in the middle of a rehearsal, and I was told, maybe go away and see a doctor and come back when your seizures have stopped. I'll explain to you in the next video about how it was not until after experiencing 2 brain surgery operations to reduce the frequency of my seizures that I returned to the Australian Opera. How the fuck did he paint that roof with we're having epilepsy?
It's true.
You can't say that. And I didn't realise, I just thought I would look it up to see. When I found out that he had it, it just made me think, how the hell did he hang upside down painting that? And probably start going, and then coming back into